All right, so I have already introduced you. So we've been waiting to hear from you. Like we've been here for I know probably the network, but you've got to like steady your camera so that we can see your face clearly.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so once again, you're welcome
I
to the session. So you could just have a brief introduction about yourself to the audience. Okay, let's get to know you.
okay. First and foremost, I want to apologize for the glitch, and it's the network. The network has been very, 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 very bad. So I just tried, fixing it. All right. So my name is Badejo Steven. I'm the founder and CEO of LogiTrack Limited. Um, I'm a go-getter. I'm a team player. I believe anything is achievable if you are consistent and um, you are visionary. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Okay, that's just about me. And my best color is color blue, and I'm a Chelsea fan.
All right. You're welcome to
Yeah.
the show. I hope you can hear me clearly now.
Yes, sure, sure.
All right. So, all right, moving ahead. So we've gotten to know you, and at this point, so when did you decide to own your own establishment as a founder, and has it always been a smooth ride for you?
Okay, well, I love that question, and first and foremost, I would say I didn't start out to be an entrepreneur. I studied human physiology in school, and so my intention was to further my career in medicine or do my masters in public health. But as God will have it, I remember then I had extra semester in school. So I was very, 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 very frustrated that, oh, how can I have extra semester, when my mates had gone for service, I was the only one in school in my set. So I was just depressed and all that. But then I had an encounter, and I was inspired to start a logistics company, which
Okay.
I didn't say it earlier, I'm a second time founder. The first company I started was the removalist logistics. What we did basically was we help those that wants to relocate from their old homes to their new places, and also we started also with dispatch bike then. So that was how I started um, as an entrepreneur. That was how I started a logistics company. Then switching to tech 2 years back. So I've been in the logistics sector for about 8 years now. So I remembered while I was just starting out without experience, all I did then was just, I had a mindset that things could be done better, but I came into the sector without any experience. So what I do most times is, when I started then was, anytime I encounter anything or some stuff that can be done better, I just write them down in my diary. So
Wow.
I remembered one of the stuff I wrote in my diary then, that I was going to term it Logitech. So COVID-19 came in 2019, and I saw that as an opportunity for me to now diversify and start the tech platform of the logistics that I've been envisaging. So I then I found then we now started the new brand, which is LogiTrack, which is the core logistics company. So that's how I found myself in the tech sector, and also that was how I became an entrepreneur. It has not been rosy, starting with zero capital, and it's not easy. It's not easy. I started with zero. I
Yeah.
started with nothing. I remember when I had the idea, I went to meet one of my uncle. My uncle, that uncle told me, he said, ah, anybody that has this kind of business idea, you first need to have like 50 million naira, before you can start a
You can
logistics
start
company.
that.
I just looked at him, and and one thing about being a founder or an entrepreneur is the willpower to achieve. That's why I tell people that are starting out, that are looking for funding and all that. If you believe in the vision, you have to at least first and foremost make sure that something is working.
Wow.
And I thank God for the wisdom God gave me to make sure I
Push it.
start out well. And 8 years down the line, it has been worth it.
I mean, that's wonderful. Yeah, knowing the so
Yeah.
far and how it feels to actually start something. I know you mentioned something about an uncle. One thing is that not everybody actually shares your dream, even when you your vision. Let me put it that way. Not everybody actually shares your vision, even when it is clear to you as a person where you are headed. But sometimes getting it to be clearer to those persons might be hard. So you just have to make sure it works from your end. So I'm glad that you're actually having that willpower to pull through despite every hurdles. So that's a kudos to
Yeah.
you, Mr. Steven.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving ahead. So people are eager to know about LogiTrack. So far, from the introduction, I've mentioned about LogiTrack. So people are eager to know about LogiTrack. So what is all about? What is it all about, and what solution do you profile?
Okay, so first and foremost, I would just parabolate around it because I may not I may not say everything, because
Okay.
um, um, you understand me. So well, LogiTrack is an e-logistics company that connects trusted and vetted truckers to B2B and B2C businesses that needs to move their consignments, their freights across Nigeria and Africa. So we are basically a truck aggregating company that aggregates um, different truckers, different truck owners, different drivers on our platform, and we connect them to B2B and B2Cs that needs to move their freights across Nigeria and Africa. So we also offer other integrated services like also one thing about our platform is that our clients can negotiate deals, they can negotiate trucking prices, and also um, some of the integrated services that we have on our platform is the tracking as a service, where clients can monitor their consignment while in transit and have 360 visibility of their consignment. We also
That's
have
interesting.
e-way bill as a service. One of our vision is to try to reduce paperwork in the sector, and so basically, we have over 800 and still counting truckers on our platform, and we have over 200 active carriers. So yeah, so that's it, and we also offer insurance for our truckers. So with my experience in the sector, most of these truckers complain that the stress and paperwork in getting insurance for their trucks, and most of the drivers on our platform complain that they just drive, that their family is not well being taken care of. There's a saying that says,
Yeah.
he who has data owns the market." So with so many data that we have of truckers and truck owners, we are also trying to bring in new added services for them on our platform, which one of our products we just launched um, last month is the insurance platform, where truck into all age businesses can insure their assets with no or zero paperwork in less than 2 to 3 minutes. You can insure your truck,
That's
and
amazing. That's
also
amazing.
as for drivers, the drivers can have HMO for himself and 3 members of his family, as low as 500 naira and all that, So definitely, so many stuff that we are doing, which I may not be able to share everything, but I'm just giving you the tip of the
It's
iceberg.
okay. Yeah, the tip you've shared so far. I mean, it's something super. I really buy into it. Looking at the fact that you also took interest into the welfare of your truckers, okay? Because you
Yeah.
had the complaint that they are worried about their health and the health of their family members and welfare, everything. So to put the welfare of your workers first is always something to reckon with. So I would give you kudos on that too. All right. So and with the growing number of truckers you have and the people you're serving, I believe that you can only keep on accelerating higher. Okay, so just keep doing that, and you're offering a lot of value. Yeah, and about
Yeah,
the
definitely.
insurance plan. So do you have an organization that you partner with to achieve this?
Yes, yes. During the COVID-19, I was ruminating. So I remember I came up with an online chat with some of my friends. We tagged
Okay.
the online chat moving from competition to collaboration. So I
Wow.
believe that every industry, every sector, every startup, every founder that wants to do well should look beyond um,
Competition.
yeah, the competition is there, but you should look beyond that and look at how can I collaborate with other other services and to
Build
offer great
something
service.
big.
I could remember one of those days while I started as a founder. I was one of those days that I was really depressed. I remember I went for job hunt, so I was scheduled for an interview at. I had an interview at Union Bank, So there was one of the questions that I read. That was where that struck my mind: cross-selling and upselling. So ever since then, I have done research on what it means to cross-sell and upsell and also collaborate. So um, for us as a logistic company and as a tech company, as a logistic platform, we we collaborate with a lot of people that have what we can win together. I believe if I win, they win. So it's a win-win
Yeah.
scenario. So yes, definitely we have partners that we are collaborating with to offer these services.
All right. That's pretty cool. So and I love what you said about going beyond competition. Very okay to to have that competition. It helps you to grow, but at least there should be a point where startups, organizations begin to collaborate for the sake of the users, for the sake of the ecosystem, to build something bigger. Okay, I mean
Yeah, sure.
that's very good. That's very good. And then I don't know. I've had a discussion with a couple of persons, founders, and entrepreneurs. It seems that the pandemic era birthed a lot of ideas and and startups. Is that true?
That's very true. The COVID-19 stuff bettered a lot of a lot of
Ideas.
business opportunities,
Yeah.
and it showed us that people can work remotely, people can do hybrid and all that. But definitely, I'm of the school of thought that if you are just starting a company, you should work on site fully, not remotely. Then maybe if you have
Okay.
a good structure that then you can work remotely. But the COVID-19 has changed a lot of things, and one of the sectors that COVID-19 hit the most during the pandemic was the logistics sector, the education sector, and the healthcare sector. I could remember during the COVID-19, then there was a pass that the federal government gave logistic companies. It was only that pass that you can use to move across the state because there was lockdown. So,
Yeah.
there was contactless logistics services and all that, so many things, so many ideas came 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 up during the COVID-19. However, some may not be sustainable for long, like those like the health sector. We could see
Yeah.
a lot of tech companies that are retrenching their staff now,
Yeah.
and they're
The
shutting
staff. Yeah.
down, because
I
now the
saw that.
COVID-19 palaver is over
It's
now,
no
and
more.
it's no more. And but definitely a lot of things was birthed.
Yeah. That's okay. All right. So let's keep on with it. Let's keep on with it. So still speaking about logistics, okay. So you chose the logistic sector amongst other sectors. Why? Hello, Mr. Matthew, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Just
I
few.
was afraid I lost you for a bit. So I was
Yeah.
saying, let me recap the question. I was saying, out of every sector that you would come up with ideas to innovate on, you chose the logistics sector. So, what is the current state of that sector, and what is the future of logistics in Africa and maybe Nigeria, to be specific?
Well, the current market of logistics in Nigeria is about $250 million, and the market of logistics in Africa is about $1.4 billion. So, and thanks to the African Continental Free Trade Area, so African Continental Free Trade Area is a pact that was signed between, I think, 44 African countries to enable
Okay.
trade across each other. So that's what is happening in Europe, where you can have free trade across European countries without um, issues. So the future of logistics is big. Like one of the things we also have on. Okay, I won't talk about that because so that I don't know those that are watching, so that but I won't talk about that. But logistics market is going to be a big one because
Okay.
of the ratification of the African Continental Free Trade Area. So imagine you doing business with somebody in Ghana, in Nairobi, and all that without any barriers again, as it used to be. And logistics is wide. We have the sea freight, we have the air freight, and the land logistics and all that. But again, the major component of logistics that is being used, which is the last mile delivery, is the land logistics. So you can do the rail, the sea, the water, and all that. But the last mile delivery, which is the road network, is going to be the
Yeah.
bomb in Africa. So as I've said, the logistics market is growing. Many industries are are coming up. The
Yeah.
e-commerce
Coming up.
market, the e-commerce market, where people can trade with each other without barriers, and also stay at your comfy and get stuff delivered to you. So that's the future. That's the future of logistics. The future of
All
logistics
right.
is
So all right. Let me cut in here.
Kumbazon.
So
Then talking about the drones and all that.
okay. Yeah. Speaking of that, so I just want to look at the niches. I know logistics is a very vast entity. So looking at the niches, I know we have people that are into maybe delivering the products, people that have to move goods around. So how are these different niches coexisting in that sector?
Okay, thank you for this question. So I remember when I started 8 years ago. Um, I first started with this. I'm just smiling now, ruminating. I've taken risk a lot. I remember then when I first started out
Okay.
with zero capital, without bikes, without dispatch bike. So I went around to hunt for some dispatch bikes. You know, I negotiated with them. So they were doing the deliveries. I was just collecting commission, you know. And that was how I started, you know. And there were some that I would just take my backpack to go and deliver, you know. So what I would just say is, and one thing about the logistics sector is that there's always a value chain that you can come in and make something from the value chain. The advantage of logistics is the logistics market or the logistics business is there's always a value chain. So far as you understand where you can come in from, there's always a value
What
chain
you're doing.
that you can take advantage of. You can take advantage of the invoicing, the warehousing. You know, it's a big market, supply chain and logistics. So just understand the value chain and where you can come in. And if you are starting, don't take too much part of the logistics. You know, don't take.
All right,
Just
so
start.
you know what? Just hold on. Let's not spoil the gist. I'm coming to that. Okay. So before we go ahead, for our viewers out there, I want to really thank you for holding it up for us. I know we didn't start like you imagined, and we had the glitch and the whole shenanigans that happened with tech. Tech always happen. All right. So if you have your questions, you can type it to the comment section, and we're going to do justice to that. So if you have your views, your personal opinion or questions you want to put out to, or you want to appreciate what we're doing, or you have some words for our guests here in the studio, you can just do that in the comment section. Okay, I will do well to go and through and glance at all of them. All right, so Mr. Matthew, back to you. So I think this is where we'll need that insight you were giving. So
Mr.
as a
Steven, please.
founder,
Mr. Steven, please. I'm not Mr. Matthew.
sorry, sorry, that was my last session. So sorry about that. All right, so as a founder and entrepreneur, what advice would you dish out to people who are building their ideas and businesses, especially in logistics?
Okay. Number one, I would say you should have a mentor. One of the
Okay.
things that has helped me is leveraging on the wisdom of my mentors. You know, a lot of young folks, they want to do things themselves. They want to, because I have this idea, they want to start things themselves. And so one of the advantage of mentors is that you are going to leverage on where they made mistakes from. Instead of you making that mistake,
You
you
learn
learn
from
from their
theirs.
mistake. And
Yeah.
yes, fine. Experience is the best teacher and all that. But I don't totally agree with that statement. You know, at times leveraging on other people's
Other
experience
persons.
is the
Yeah.
best teacher. You know. Then also read books. Read books. Um, read books like read books a lot, read about biographies, autobiographies. I mean, read about founders. You know, I remember when I was starting out, I read like mad. You know, coupled with my background in human physiology as a medical student. You need to read. You have to read and all that. So number one, I said have mentors, leverage on their mistakes. Number two,
Read books.
read, and number three, start small. Start small. You
Like a
can't
point
start
bag.
everything big. Start small. Start small. I can. It's not as if I'm proud. To God be the glory. I can beat my chest that I started from zero naira. There was nothing, like just idea. I started from zero naira. Start small. I remember when we started. Then we started from zero naira. Then from there we got our first dispatch bike, second, then we had like 12 dispatch bike then before we switch into the haulage business fully. So, being in the logistics sector for 8 years is not beans.
It's
Start
not
small.
easy. Yeah.
There's always where to start. There's always where to start. Start
And when once you
small. So
find
number
your
one,
fitting, you're
number
always going to
one,
grow from there.
have mentors. Two, um, um,
Learn from the
number one, have
experiences.
mentors, learn from their experiences. Two, Start small, Then
yeah.
two, read
And
books, read
Yeah,
books, read
that was the second
autobiographies
one.
and all that. Number three, start small. Then number four, you need to network. You need to network with people and also have a mind of excellence, Stay focused, stay consistent, stay committed. Consistency is the key. I've been in this sector for the past 8 years. It has not been easy, but I've been consistent. You know, most times people leave something because it's not working as how they want it. So the funny thing is, sometimes your breakthrough is just at the corner. Be persistent. So that's just my advice.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, for once, you almost spoke like someone someone who is led by the Spirit, and I'm very sure people who are out there would be picking up some bullet points from the
No,
advice
definitely.
you've dished out.
I'm not shy about that. I'm a Christian and I'm in the tech sector. So at times, some of these, see, let me tell you something. At times, some of these inspiration, some of these innovation that I come out with for our team, for our company, comes from a place of inspiration. But a lot of people like, there was this documentary I watched about Jobs and Gates. There's a particular time at the end of the year, I think at the middle of the year, that some of these guys they zoom out of whatever they are doing. They go to a particular place and just go to see nature. They don't talk to anybody. They don't interact with anybody. They are just all alone to themselves and
We could
nature
say
and
a
reading.
desert
So
experience.
anytime they come out of that place, they just come with new ideas on how things can be done. So definitely,
That's
so as a
interesting.
Christian, I'm not
I
shy
think
about that.
that's okay. That's okay. I mean, I respect that. Speaking of what you just said, I think that's I know I had something of desert experience and having a personal recollection and then having a flow of ideas. I mean, that's massive. It's good to always have a me time. I mean, a you time. Okay. All right. So a quick one. So what are the opportunities in logistics in case someone is interested to venture into it, either as a business or as a skill? So what are the opportunities?
Okay, so there are cumbersome opportunities in the logistics sector, which I said earlier on. Is understanding the value chain and how you can come in. So in the logistics sector, you can start from say you can start inventory, um, offering credit facilities to um, um, contracts. So many things you can start from. So many things. There are so many value chain in the logistics sector. So, but the thing is, you must first understand. See,
Okay.
this sector is not a funny sector because there are big players there. There are big players there. There are very big players there. But again, you have to understand the value chain. First and foremost, you have to understand the value chain. So once you understand the value chain, you can now choose and say, okay, this is the particular um, aspect that I want to tackle
I
with
can play.
technology.
Good, good.
And you should, so once you can tackle that with technology, it must be something that um, can um, can be replicated. Can you lend me that
All
word
right, all
again?
right.
Um, so basically, you should just understand the value chain. So once you understand the value chain, you'll be able to know where and how you can innovate. Because if you don't
Okay, okay.
understand
All
something, you
right.
can't innovate it. If you don't understand something, you can't innovate it. So first and foremost, so one of the things that has helped me again is, I told you that I've been in the logistics sector for 8 years. And
Yeah, you said that.
counting down, before I switched to tech 2, 3 years ago, for about 5 years, whatever mistakes I've been encountering, I jot them down. That, oh, this is how I can do it. So even aside logistics, some people are joining here, they are not in the logistics sector, they are looking at other sectors. I remember also one of the days that I started, at times I would just take a walk around the bus stop and see what can be, when you dey hustle, when things no good, how
Yeah,
you, so
you try to
so just
better the environment
understand,
around you.
if you understand something, if you understand a sector, then you will know how to innovate in that sector. But if you don't understand um, whatever is in that sector, you can't innovate. So definitely, I would say the basis of innovation is understanding the sector that you are working in, be it logistics, be it fashion, be it IT, education, or whatever. If you understand the
Or
problem,
health.
if you
Yeah, thank
understand
you
the
very much.
problem, then you can innovate it. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Steven. And then I think I can just summarize this into knowing the problems that exist in a sector, the loopholes, the
Yes.
needs of people, and then coming up with a value point, making a value entry and delivering that massively. And then
Yes. Yes.
speaking of that, let's just go through the comment section. We have a couple of text messages here. We have Alice is here. Alice says, thank you. And we have Chris Madize. He's on fire, saying the session is on fire. Thank you very much. So another person, Sorionola Samuel, says, wow, 8 years. So someone is amazed at the 8 years you've spent in the logistics sector.
So I
All right. So
saw a question by
he
Kunle
also
David.
says he would.
Why
Yeah,
did
I'm
he
coming to that.
leave
I'm
the
coming to
last
that. So
mile?
he also says he would love to hear from you. Okay, maybe you drop how people can reach out to you, and then maybe they want to learn more from your story. All right. So moving down, we have a question from Kunle Devi. So Kunle Devi says, how is he using technology to drive logistics? Even in the flyers, I was saying that Mr. Steven is doing a lot in the logistics sector, and he's using technology to innovate. So I think I really resonate with this question. So, Mr. Steven, can you tell us how you are using technology to drive logistics? And we'll try to be fast, so
Okay.
we're already behind time.
Okay. So as I've said, there are some questions that I may not be able to answer fully because
Okay.
of um, because of my own reasons. But I will just summarize. Um, one thing about tech in logistics is you need to understand the asset light and infrastructure heavy business model. So when you understand the asset light and infrastructure heavy business model, you'll be able to use technology to drive logistics. So, and as I've said, logistics is a family word. Under logistics, it's called supply chain and logistics. So under supply chain and logistics, there are many value chain. So I'm going back to what I said. If you understand the value chain, you can use technology to innovate what you feel can be done. For instance, I said inventory management, um, a lot of things that I may not mention here because of I have my own reasons. So once you understand the asset light infrastructure heavy business model, you can write this down and go and read about it. So you can be able to use that to drive technology on in any sector. Then you can scale it. So that's it.
All right. I don't know if Kunle David is satisfied with that. So,
So there's a
okay, can
question that
you
he
can
asked
you
here.
like give specific, will I call it a pinpoint of you using technology to innovate the logistics? Maybe something
So
like an instance that people can
as I've
actually.
said, as I've said, we connect. So looking at it, we connect trusted and vetted truckers to B2B and B2C businesses that need
Hello? Hello, are you there? Maybe it's the network here again. Hello, Mr. Steven. You're breaking up. Hello? Wow. I think the network is at it again. We just lost Mr. Steven. But you can agree with me. It's been a very interactive time. Insightful to having Mr. Martin in the building to discuss the logistics. I'm sure you've learned one or two, like I've learned two things you how you can enter into the ecosystem, how you can find your fitting, how what you need to do to be able to scale up, how you need to start. Okay, that you need to start small. For some of us, I think we can always make that big entry. It doesn't have to be big. You can always start from small point. Okay, from small point you can grow bigger, bigger, and bigger. And then I'll just give a recap of the four things you could do to scale up. So you need to get a mentor. You need to learn from their experiences. Okay, so learning from your own experience might be good, but you also need to learn from the experience of others so that you don't make the mistakes they make. So that keeps you ahead of them. And then you need to read books too. All right, you need to have the habit of reading books, and then start small. So, and then network. Like everything depends on networking. So I think I have Mr. Steven back here. I will just bring him up again. Okay, hello, Mr. Steven. Are you there?
Yeah. Hi.
All
I'm
right,
sorry. I'm not in Lagos. So where I am, the network is quite
all
very.
right,
So we have
no
to
problem.
just.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's just wrap this up. All right, so the last question. Thank you very much, Wale Ogunjobi, saying good vibes. Thank you very much. Of course, we love to give the good vibes. Okay, and then the last
Hey.
one. So
Hello. Hi, Wale.
why did you leave the last mile bike delivery market? So this is the last question. So in just
So
1 minute, can you just tend to
so
this?
I love that question. I'm almost done. I love that question. One of the reasons why I left the bike business was at a point in time it was becoming a nuisance. You just see um, um, people buying bikes, and after that they just name it Pupu Logistics, Yam Yam Logistics, Tababa Logistics. And it's the market. The So one of the things that is common to those using that bike businesses, they are just in business to meet their daily needs,
To
to
do
feed
yeah,
from it.
yeah,
They are not in the business to build a company. So at the end of the day, you are charging maybe 1,005, 2,000 for delivery. You have marked up your costs. You are saying, okay, this is how much a dispatch charger will earn. This is how much you pay for office space. This is how much you do this. This is how much you do that to grow your company and all that. But somebody would just come with a crash price and say, can people logistics do 800 naira? Yes. And again, at a point in time, um, the government policies were not that favorable. Most times you will just be at the office and you get a call. Hello, sir. Maybe the logistic manager just calls you and say, hello, sir. Local government people don't catch us. So then say this one, then say that one, this one, this place that we pass is a boundary between Lagos and Ogun State. Blah 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 blah. And so many of those things. And initially also I use that to start as a stepping stone. See, most
okay,
times when you are starting something, you have a vision of where you are going to, but you need to start from somewhere. You need to start from somewhere. So I used that dispatch business as a stepping stone. As I've said earlier, when I started, there was no dispatch bike. I got people that had dispatch bike. They were doing delivery. I think I was earning maybe 150 or 100 naira on each parcel they delivered. I remember I had a bag that looked like all these bike, all these mountain hike bikers. You know, even when I had bike, when our company had bikes, then there were some of the deliveries that I handled myself, like maybe to highbrow areas of Lagos. You know, I remember there were some of those days that I went to deliver in VGC. You know, I would just step into those clients and say, "Oh, my name is Steven. I'm the founder and CEO of my company." You know, I just, So, are you there? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
So,
ahead. Yeah, I
so,
can hear you. Go ahead.
I to cut the long story short, I just used that as a stepping stone. You know, is it that I am where I want to be now? No, I'm not where I want to be, but I thank God for where I started. And like they will say, it was line upon line, precept upon precept. And one of the easiest way to fail is you should fail. I remember there was a book that my mentor recommended for me, Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. Man, that book really helped me. So people want to start big. And one of the things that if you start big, if you fail, it will crash you. But if you start small, if you fail, you will keep building steps upon steps upon steps. And so by the time you arrive there, you would have learned from so many things. So that's what has helped me.
All
So
right.
that question is one of the reasons why I left that market totally was I didn't see myself staying long in that market. I just saw myself
In
that
that
okay, let me
market. All
just
right. Thank you very much.
because I had a big picture in mind. Even with this trucking and all this sector that we have, there's still a bigger picture in mind, which
All right.
definitely
All
by
right.
God's grace,
All right.
it will be dishing out as time goes by.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for doing justice to that question. And at this point, so we're wrapping it up now. So like we do, we have a tradition on Tech Rounds. We play a little a quick game before we leave the show. So are you ready, Mr. Steven, for a quick one? So you
All
just give
right.
me your answers back to back, quick. All right, your favorite sports?
Football.
Oh, football. All right, you said you were a Chelsea fan, so I agree. So traditional or continental dishes?
Can I say both?
No, you have to choose one.
Okay, so my best food is beans and gari. So I'll take traditional dish.
Okay. All right, remote job or physical job?
Man, physical job because yeah, physical job,
And
physical job.
logistics has to do with a lot of physical. All right, so a
Yes.
9 to 5 or your own business? What would you?
Ah, my own business now
Your
because
own business,
definitely you work more than 9 to 5. You work anytime where work meets you.
That's
You're
good.
always working.
That's
Even
good.
at times you can be sleeping and be calculating figure. So
Life of an entrepreneur. All right.
yeah.
All right. So reggae, hip hop, pop, blues, classical.
Classical. One thing about
Okay.
classical is when you are listening to classical, it cools your mind. Like
Mm,
Beethoven and all that. You can think well. Yeah,
wow.
classical.
I know you love that me time. That's okay. All right. So one man squad or a team player? Which are you?
Ah, well, I'm in between. I'm a team
You have to
player.
choose one.
I'm a no. To be sincere, I'm a team player. I'm a one man squad because, but you know why I said that. At times, some of these team can slow you down. You know,
Okay.
well,
Okay.
yeah,
So, but you have to be more of a. Okay, you
so
like the one man squad stuff in a way.
one man
In a way.
mopo.
Okay. All right. So media famous or low key?
Well, one of the reasons why I'm on media is to sell my business. I'm in
Okay.
between. I'm in
Okay.
between. It's to sell my
So
business. Whatever I'm doing on the social media is just for
so
personal
if
branding
I'm to
and
coin a
to sell
word
your
for your
business.
answer, I would say low famous.
Any word?
All right, all right. So the last one, but not the least, suit or Ankara.
Suit, definitely. I'm a suit person, definitely suit.
Okay. All right. That's amazing. That's the end of the game. Thank you very much for making it out here. I want to give a shout out to the real MVPs of the day, people that have come out here to support the whole show from when we started, even those that waited, even when we had the glitch. Ali Seze, thank you very much. Chris Malize, thank you very much. So Sorinola Samuel, yeah. Kunle David, Wale Ogunjobi, and then Wale Oguntokun. Wow, is that coincidence? The two Wales. Thank you very much for joining Tech Rounds this edition. And then
All right. Can I
our
say
founder
something,
is here
please?
in the building. All right, the last word.
I want to deeply and sincerely apologize once again for the network glitch. I definitely, anybody that knows me knows that I'm a person of time. I keep to time. I joined this session on time, but the network, but I'm sincerely sorry for the network glitch. So
Okay.
my final words is if you there's nothing that is not achievable if you can put in the work, if you can stay consistent, committed, persistent, and also deal with your convictions. Then, before you diversify, you have to consolidate. Consolidate before diversification. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to use those words a lot this week and maybe the rest of the month or maybe the rest of the year. Thank you very much. You've given us some lines. So there is nothing unachievable if you persist. Okay. So everyone out there is always a need to take risk and everything. So I urge all of you, whatever you're doing, just put your mind in it and you're going to come out a victor. Mr. Steven, for making our time to be here. I hope we're going to forgive you for the
It's a pleasure,
network
sir.
glitch. All
It's a
right, thank you
pleasure,
very
sir.
much, and do have a lovely day. Okay. All right, thank you
And
very
you
much.
too. And you too. Yeah. Bye.
All right, everyone have a lovely day. Tech rounds on Tech Build, and we hope to be doing it each and every time we have innovators and with us. So I had a short time here on Tech Build platform. So if you want to do more inquiries about the tech rounds, you want to come up on tech rounds, just reach out to us with the inscription that's going around there. So you can join us, and I promise you, we'll reach out to you. So thank you for being here on Tech Rounds. I got a skedaddle. Adios.